Hello and welcome to a new video. I thought today I would do a recommendation video for some books I love on Kindle Unlimited. Even if you don't read very much on Kindle Unlimited, I still think it's totally worth it. If you read a couple books a month, maybe, it all works out in the end, and I feel like it's totally worth it, and I can never get rid of it. So let's get into some of my recommendations. There are so many books that I love on Kindle Unlimited, but these are just some that have really stood out to me over the last couple of years. To my knowledge, these are all still available on Kindle Unlimited when I looked today on September something 2024, okay? So first I have The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. This is a book I read last year, and I'm actually about to reread when I actually remember to plug in my Kindle so I can read on it. This is a book about a small town romance. Absolutely love it. It definitely is giving Gilmore Girls, but spicy. And this is a story about a girl who inherits a pumpkin spice cafe. I don't remember if it's like coffee or bakery or all of the above, or pie shop or something like that. And so she moves to this town. She decides, you know what, I'm going to start over. I'm going to, address this. She inherits it because her grandma or her aunt or somebody decides they're going to go off and do whatever the hell they want. And so she comes to this town and she said, yeah, I'm going to start over. And she meets this guy who is grumpy and very, very Luke Danes coded. And so she meets him, they start to develop a relationship, but he has been burned in the past by out-of-towners and he doesn't really want to get involved, but then he can't help himself. So it is their romance, their relationship, their story, and it is just so sweet. And I just love all the small town vibes in this story. I think it really lived up to the hype, at least for me, and I just love all of the fall autumnal sweet romantic vibes, but it also surprised me with how spicy it was, and I really enjoyed the story. So I cannot wait to read the sequel. That is definitely on my TBR. Next is a series I have been talking a lot about this year, so if you have not heard me talk about it, it is Archer, or the Reynolds Protective Group series by Dr. Rebecca Sharp. My favorite is the one about her Spencer Reid vibe character. That is the fourth in the series, Ranger. But I love all the books. I love all four of them. This is a romantic suspense series about these four brothers who all live in this small town in Wyoming, near Jackson Hole, Wyoming, which I guess is a famous ski town or something. What do I know? But they opened a private security firm that they do a lot of security for rich people that are coming to visit the ski resort and some other things in town, and it follows the four brothers one by one and their relationships, and it is just so good. Archer is the oldest brother, if I'm remembering correctly. I think the books actually go in order. Yeah, they do, from in age order of the brothers. And his story about finding, his true love, and it's just so good. I love this series so much. I love the writing. I love all the heroines as well. One of the books, Gunner, is, I just don't remember if that's 2 or 3, is a surprise pregnancy. That was so good, so fun. And then the fourth one, Ranger, is a story about the baby brother, who she said is inspired by Spencer Reid from Criminal Minds, and it definitely is. And his is definitely my favorite. That's about a girl who is an author, and she starts getting all these crazy death threats because she killed off a character in her books, and so she is just going to hide from everything for a while, and that's how they meet, and then they get fake married, and it's all just so much fun. I love the series so much, and even though I literally just read it a couple months ago, I'm constantly thinking, should I reread these? They're so good. I didn't even show the cover, but this is Archer by Rebecca Sharp. It doesn't want to focus, but it's fantastic. I love these. I love these books. Next is Baby Moon or Bust by Ava Hunter. This is one I read fairly recently as well. This is a surprise pregnancy trope. I love surprise pregnancy books. I think they are so fun to read. And this was a really cute one that was very unexpected in these characters, but I really, really loved it. So this is a book about a characters who meet. She's on, not on vacation, she's on a work trip. I can't remember their names. Now it's gonna drive me crazy. Oh, Tessie and Solomon. That's why I didn't remember their names. Those are insanely specific names. I can't believe my camera battery's flashing already. It's only been 30 minutes. Anyway, let's see how much I can get through. So she's on a work trip in Nashville, maybe. It's not important. They meet, they have one night. She doesn't really think about it until she ends up pregnant, and she doesn't have a way to contact him. She didn't even get his last name, all of this, until he sees her on TV, because she is an interior designer for celebrities, and she ends up on a television show because a celebrity is sharing what they did to their house or whatever, and he sees her on TV obviously pregnant, and he's like, I need to call her. I need to figure what is going on. And so he does. I think he actually travels all the way to LA to see her, and he finds out everything that's going on, and it ends up he goes on the baby moon with her that she was supposed to just go on with her best friend. And so they have to figure out what they're going to do, what this relationship is going to be, and he ends up taking her after they do the baby moon, and then he ends up taking her home to Alaska, which is where he's from, and which is obviously very different than her experience living in LA. And they get to know each other, and they have a beautiful relationship. He has a lot of just a lot of stuff to work through. There is, I would say, trigger warning for death of a spouse. He is a widow, I don't know which one it is. And so there's, a lot to work through with that. But it's such a beautiful story, and I love these characters. I also would say trigger warning for like a traumatic birth. The birth scene is in this series, or like on page, and it is like a lot happens. So a lot of like medical stuff if you're not comfortable with that, but very good. I loved that book. Next, I have a cozy mystery series that I've talked about so much, and that is The Vampire Knitting Club by Nancy Warren. I love these books so much. This is a series about a girl who inherits her grandma's knitting shop. Ooh, it does not want to focus. The cover is too bright. There we go. She inherits her grandma's knitting shop in Oxford, and I think it's in Oxford, so she moves there, discovers 1, her grandma's not dead, she became a vampire. 2, she herself is a witch. 3, a bunch of vampires live underneath her house. So it's great, it's fun, she gets to know everybody, she gets to know the magical community in that area. Battery died, and I had to charge the battery and then come back. Anyway, in that time I ordered new batteries for my camera, so I have spares from Amazon. But anyway, let's get back into the recommendations. I was talking about the Vampire Knitting Club by Nancy Warren. It is a series I am a huge fan of. I've read all of them. I wish there were more, but it's just a really fun cozy mystery series, and I just love the added spin of it being like a paranormal story, and the romance between the main character and the vampire, hot guy. Love it. Genius. So much fun. Next, I have 2 books by Amy Dawes because I am just a huge fan of hers. I have first Blindsided by her, which is a best friends to lovers romance with plus-size heroine representation, and I adore this book. It is like a formula of all of my favorite things. I think Friends to Lovers is 100 times better than Enemies to Lovers, if you ask me, and it's books like these that I think proves my point. The chemistry that they have as they develop from friends to more is just so good to read, and just like the mutual pining is genius. I love it. I love these characters. I loved this story. I just love Amy Dawes writing so much, and definitely think you should give her a try. My other book recommendation from her, also I didn't share the cover, this is Blindsided. It also is a sports romance, which I feel like is very in right now. He is a soccer player. I think he's a soccer player. Don't quote me on that. And then my other favorite book by her is One Moment Please. This is one of my all-time favorite contemporary romance books. This is a story that is just so ridiculous and so lovely and just a good fun. It's just so fun. This is a story about a woman who, step one, she meets this guy, they have a night, it's fun, blah blah blah. She doesn't really think about it again. Some weeks later, she is on a first date, on a blind date. It's going horribly. She decides, you know what? I'm going to literally sneak out the bathroom window of this restaurant. In doing so, she falls and sprains her ankle. And then she's like, well, damn, now I'm hurt. I need to go to the emergency room. She goes to the emergency room. The doctor that is checking out her ankle, whenever you go into the emergency room, if they are running labs, and if they have to get an x-ray, they have to do a pregnancy test. They do that. She is pregnant. She didn't know that yet though. And the doctor comes in, realizes who she is, and he's like, when were you going to tell me that you're pregnant? And she's like, I'm what? And he's the father, obviously. And it is just such a perfect sphere of comical genius. It's just so funny. And if someone out there in the Hollywood universe could please make this into a movie, I think you should. Not that I'm not super duper excited for Emily Henry's books to be made into movies, but like, let's give some love to the smaller authors, okay guys? Anyway, 10 out of 10, one of my favorite books of all time. This book I could never recommend enough. It's just pure genius and pure fun. And another book that I'm like, should I reread it? I'm just talking about all these books I love so much, I want to reread them all. But anyway, those are some of my recommendations for Kindle Unlimited. I definitely think Kindle Unlimited is totally worth it if you like to read, period. If you like to read ebooks, I guess more specifically, but especially if you like to read romance. But yeah, there's just so many good ones out there, and so many more on my TBR list. So I hope you enjoyed this recommendation video. I upload booktube content every week, and I'm trying to upload a little bit more. We'll see how that goes. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye!